everybody, it's Sabrena here to talk about some more nutrition stuff at Nutrition Week here at the Hill. The two main things I want to talk about today are calories, calories in, calories out, as well as macronutrients. And these are really the two most important details that you want to keep in mind when you're starting or maintaining any type of nutrition plan. So, number one, energy balance. I may not be very popular for saying this, but calories do matter. Calories in versus calories out is really what determines your weight, whether it's weight gain, weight loss, or weight maintenance. So keep in mind that everybody has a different requirement to maintain their current body weight. If you're inactive or sedentary, that could range between 1,800 to 2,000 or 2,200 calories per day, and that depends on your size, whether you're male or female, how active you are, things like that. If you are very active, that bumps your calorie requirements up a little bit. As you can see here, between 2,000 and 2,800 calories per day, depending on your size, depending on your activity level. Those might be some normal types of calorie targets to shoot for. Not saying that it's yours, just saying that that's what's out there. Now, energy balance means that if you eat the exact number of calories that you require to maintain your body weight, then you will maintain that body weight. If that food fuels your activities and your metabolism, your digestion, your respiration, all the things that go along with living, you're gonna stay at that same weight. If you eat fewer calories than you burn, you're going to lose weight. And then if you eat more calories than you burn, you're going to gain weight. And there really is no way around that. There's no fancy diet or trick or pill or method that's going to get you to your goal any differently. Anything that's out there that does actually help you achieve weight gain or weight loss goals is doing it through energy balance. One way or another, that's how it's working. So, having said that, just accept that, go along with me here. We need to talk about the two important factors that make up your energy balance, and that's what you eat, your calories consumed with food, and then your activity levels or exercise. So, a reasonable way, I'll say a reasonable way to approach this, I mean, you can do one or the other. You could just decrease your calories. You could restrict the crap out of your calories, be miserable, and you could lose weight. You could only exercise, and you could exercise a lot, all day long, and not pay any attention to your diet, and you could lose weight if that's your goal. The more reasonable approach, though, is to do a combination of both. So perhaps a moderate amount of exercise, maybe you're burning 250 calories during your workout session. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's probably a reasonable amount for somebody that's just kind of getting into exercise and working for about 45 minutes, say. And then there's the diet thing. And diet is very personal endeavor. And you need to make it work for you. I know Matt mentioned in his first video of the series that your diet has to work for your lifestyle. And I'm going to second that. And I'm going to say that if you make drastic changes in your diet by really reducing calories, I don't think you're going to be doing that for very long. You're probably going to see some results in the beginning, but then over time you're going to plateau, and then you're going to get frustrated just because life isn't as fun. So a reasonable approach would be to find out how many calories that it takes to sustain your weight, or perhaps get you to a weight loss goal if that's your goal. And then restrict your calories a little bit, maybe 250 calories a day, add in some physical activity or exercise, so that you're running at about a 500 calorie energy deficit, if that makes sense. 250 from diet, 250 from exercise, so now you're running in that negative energy balance equation. So that's a reasonable way to approach weight loss if that's your goal. The second thing I want to talk about is macronutrients, because all of this talk about diet, what you're putting into your body, is made up of these calorie-containing nutrients, the big three. And I've written them here on the board: protein, carbs, and fats. And I'm starting with protein because protein is very important for people who exercise, especially when they push weight around or work with load. or do any type of high intensity activity, because when you're adding that type of stress to your body, your tissues are slightly breaking down, and they should, because they heal back stronger. You come back next time and you're better at what you do. Protein is needed to fuel that recovery, to get your strength levels and your tissues back to at least a point to where they can withstand more intense load. So protein is a builder, so to speak. It builds your soft tissues, and it's important. And even though there's a lot of talk about protein in the fitness community, a lot of people really don't eat enough protein. And let's say you have a recommendation of 30% of your calories should come from protein. Most people find that if they're not really paying attention to it, that's kind of hard to do. Next macronutrient I'll talk about is carbs, or carbohydrates. And carbohydrates are not your enemy, number one, please understand that. Number two, they help fuel your activity. They help your central nervous system, your brain and spinal cord actually operate, so that's important. And if you eat carbohydrates that are non-processed in their whole form, and try to stay away from the highly refined and highly sugar types of carbs, then you're actually doing yourself a huge favor. You're going to feel better mentally because your brain will appreciate the increase in carbs. You're also going to feel better during your performance, because carbohydrates are one of those main factors that actually fuels muscle contraction. So if you're depleted or you're running low on carbs, you're going to feel it, not only in your mood, perhaps you're a little more irritable throughout the day or fatigued, but you're also going to feel it because you're going to be dragging in your workouts. And we want you to perform in your workouts, because that's what gives you the intensity to actually burn the calories, to make the changes that you need so that you can become your best self, whatever that means. All right, next is fat. So fat, we love fat. We all love fat, right? We love to eat it, at least. So as part of a balanced, sound diet, you've got to eat fat. And fat should come from all sources. It should come from animal sources. It should come from plant sources. If you have a potential or a family history of cholesterol issues or heart disease, you may need to scale off of the fat, especially the animal or saturated fat. And that would be a discussion to have between you and your physician or your registered dietitian if you work with one. But what I'm saying is, fat is an important part of the diet because it gives you calories for sure. It's a very calorie dense nutrient, but it also makes you feel full longer, so you're not running around hungry all day. It also tastes good. It has a certain amount of mouthfeel and texture that we just like. We like to eat it. We like the way it tastes. And we're human, so eat some fat, people. The percentages I have listed here are actually recommended from the Institute of Medicine. And notice their ranges. So you've got some wiggle room to play with your macronutrients within your calories if you want to get that nerdy about it. You don't have to, but here's some advice if you do. So the Institute of Medicine for protein recommends about 10 to 30%, or 35%, sorry, of your total daily calories from protein. For carbs, it's about 45 to 65% of your total daily calories should come from that nutrient. So a majority of your calories come from carbs, according to the Institute of Medicine. And then fat, 20 to 35% of your total daily calories coming from fat. As an example, to get you out of the range zone, sounds like the friend zone, let's get you into the an example zone, shall we? So you may consider doing a breakdown of your macronutrients that is 30% of your calories from protein, about 50% of your calories from carbohydrates, and about 20% of your calories from fat. So 30, 50, 20 if we're doing a protein, carbs, and fat approach. These recommendations are within the Institute of Medicine guidelines. It's nothing extreme, it's nothing far out there. As a fitness professional, I am well within my scope of practice to recommend this to you, and this is actually how I start with my own clients in both my one-on-one sessions and my group sessions. It's a great place to start to learn about food. And other than understanding your energy balance needs and your macronutrients, all that other stuff is just details. So until next time, that's my nutrition advice on day 2.